Hey everyone, Kevin the Geeky Gamer here, and today I want to talk about a little small company known as Koei Tecmo. Now, this Japanese company, as many of you may or may not know, is a Japanese company, video game company, obviously, that used to make pretty much exclusively a lot of Dynasty Warrior games. And for almost 20 years, that's all they would really ever make. That and Romance of the Three Kingdoms and some other mashups and stuff like that, whatever. The reason I want to talk about Koei Tecmo is because I believe Koei Tecmo is becoming the new Capcom. They are on their way to their 6th year of increased profits that I have checked out in their last financial report for the year of 2014 to 2015. So obviously we're waiting for a report from 2015 to 2016. But from what I've seen so far, they have actually grown a lot. They've had 6 years straight of record profits. They have sold a lot of games here, both in Europe and America. But their biggest rising star in audience and people to buy their games is China. China's really coming up in the video game industry. Sure, China's always known to be, free-to-play games, computer, net cafes, all that stuff. They're the ones that play a lot of Overwatch. What am I doing something wrong? And bootlegging. But now that China's they have not restricted. They lifted the bans and restrictions on console games and consoles in general. So now you're starting to see China become a dominant force in the video game industry, which is pretty cool because, if China buys more games, that means more games for us, more sequels, all that good stuff. Just how United States Hollywood movies are now starting to cater a little bit more to the Chinese audience because now they're a big growing industry. Where, let's say, like a movie like Warcraft that didn't do so well here in America did really well in China. So now we're going to get a sequel for Warcraft, which I'm excited because, honestly, I thought that Warcraft movie was pretty good. But anyways, not to divert, let's go back to talking about Koei Tecmo. Koei Tecmo is starting, in my opinion, to make a big name for itself in just similar to Capcom. They're starting to branch out into several IPs, several different types of genres of video games. And I don't think anyone has noticed this. I'm seriously noticing this because I've been buying more Koei Tecmo games, and I'm like, that's so weird. I've never really bought their games before because to me they were always just the Dynasty Warriors company and the Romance of the Three Kingdoms games, but they're starting to branch out a lot more. My examples for this are Ninja Gaiden. That's their action genre. They have a Dead or Alive Last Round. That's their fighting game genre. They have Tokiden now, Kiwima, whatever it's called. The point is, that's their monster hunting genre. They're coming out with Neo, which is now like their Dark Souls / Bloodborne genre. They have started making even more mashups of their Dynasty Warriors formula, with mixing in with Giant Quest, and also Hyrule Warriors, Gundam, One Piece. And that's actually been making them a lot of money. In their financial report, the Hyrule Warriors game sold more than 1 million units, not in Japan, but in North America and Europe. So a lot of people in North America and Europe bought Hyrule Warriors. And a lot of people in Japan bought One Piece Burning Crusade or Blood Blood or something like that. I'm not really familiar with the One Piece games, but I just know that they made a mashup with them too. And it's been selling extremely well. And a lot of their games have been meeting expectations or above those expectations. Like for Giant Quest Heroes, that sold huge in China and Japan. And China's become a big dominant force. It sold pretty well over here, but not like outstanding numbers. Hyrule Warriors did that over here, but Giant Quest, it's not such a big name in America. We're more of a Final Fantasy type of people. Giant Quest never really caught on here, but I like them. They're okay. I never beat one. I've only tried 8 for the PS2, and Jesse remembers trying out 8. He used to have it, right, Jesse?
Yeah, I skipped school for it. No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. I know I skipped school for when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, and I got Jesse's copy.
No, I skipped school for that too.
Okay. We both skipped school, right? Yeah, okay. But anyways, back to we're bad people. Stay in school, kids. Anyways, but I'm telling you, Koei Tecmo is becoming huge. They're selling record profits. They even said it themselves in their last financial meeting that they want to increase their IP brands and also promote the IPs that they have now. So Dead or Alive became a free-to-play model. They're testing out little things here and there. Right now, a lot of their focus is going to mobile games. But I think with Capcom and a lot of companies that try to do that like 1 or 2 years ago, they kind of missed the train. If you weren't on that mobile circuit, you're pretty much not going to make money. I think Capcom noticed that because last year they had said that their main revenue of money was going to come from remasters and repackaging of old games. But the year before that, Capcom was aggressively pursuing mobile game titles to make money for them. most likely didn't pan out for them because it's just really hard to break out in the mobile market if you're not free to play and if people don't buy your stuff, because you can't just rely on whales to increase all your revenue. But anyways, like I was saying, Koei Tecmo is coming up really soon. It's coming up really fast, and I don't think anyone's noticing it, that they're becoming the new Capcom. Even themselves in their own investor meetings, when I was reading the notes about their investor meetings, they said they want to branch out to more crossovers. Like they want to do other crossovers. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they do a Final Fantasy, Duske, Prologue, Infinitus 2, Sigma, whatever game, with Final Fantasy titles. But they also want to do like they're coming up with a new Yokai Watch crossover with their games. Romance of the Three Kingdoms is also becoming crossed over with their Dynasty Warrior franchise, and they themselves have said they want to explore other genres. And one of the genres they're going to test out first with their Dynasty Warriors series is a strategy RPG, which, a tactical-based strategy RPG where, you do, it's a grid-based system and you move your turns and then they move. So, Neo is going to come out next year in February in 2017. And Neo's I played the beta for that, the demo, the beta demo as they call it, and that game is pretty fucking cool. I gotta admit, it almost reminds me of Onimusha. It reminds me of Onimusha mixed in with Bloodborne, and I think that's a really cool concept because we haven't had an Onimusha game from Capcom at all. They've been super quiet and super silent on that series, just like how they have been with Mega Man. So I'm saying that Koei Tecmo is really coming up. And I think people should be paying attention and seeing that they're making a very steady stream of games. Tokiden, their monster hunting, I don't want to call it a clone because it has its own unique story. It has its own unique gameplay elements and mechanics. They're making a second version, and they're making an open world now instead of area-based out how Monster Hunter is, where Monster Hunter you go from one area to the next and there's loading screens. Now they're going to start doing it in more of an open world type of game. What type of open world? I'm not sure. It might be like a Metal Gear or it might be like a Shadow of Mordor type of deal. But all I know is that Tokiden 2 will be an open world type of game that will still have Monster Hunter, obviously, but it won't be restricted to loading times because once you load into that world, all you have to do is just go back to your hub. And I'm assuming that the world's connected somehow, like all the different areas where you hunt these monsters. But anyways, I digress. Koei Tecmo is becoming a pretty big powerhouse in Japan, and China's resurgence in the video game industry to be consumers of video games has really helped them out. And now they're pushing forward with more brand new IPs, more crossover, more collaborations with other companies, which I think is such a smart move because not a lot of companies want to collaborate their titles and their IPs with other games. It was rare. It was a miracle that Nintendo even allowed them to use the Legend of Zelda franchise to make a game just like Hyrule Warriors. That's usually never unheard. It's not unheard of. They did allow Capcom to make Oracle of Ages and Seasons. And Minish Cap. So it's not unheard of that that Nintendo does give up its properties and collaborate with somebody else. I think Team Ninja made Other M, right? Yeah, Team Ninja made Other M. We all know how that turned out. But anyways, but that's what I'm saying. Koei Tecmo is seeking very hard for these collaborations, and I know I bought their Gundam Dynasty Warrior games because it had Gundam in them. I'm sorry, I just don't care about Dynasty Warriors. I don't care about these Japanese or Chinese influenced characters. But when they put something that I really like into it, I will buy it. And Dragon Quest Heroes right now has been such a great game. I'll talk about that in another video. And they're seeking new genres and new IPs. They're pushing it. Neo's a brand new game. Sure, it was announced 10 years ago, and it's been in development since 10 years ago. But that's because I think they went through several phases of where they had to cancel it and rebuild upon the original idea. But now it's going to come out, and with that beta that they released, it was pretty great. And they're on board with the whole. There's a void of similar games. There's a void right now of Onimusha games. There is no samurai games. There is no real slashy Eastern Asian influences of games. The only ones you ever see are just like Dynasty Warriors and Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Square Enix hasn't been making that many games that are Asian influence that come out that are popular in the West. So they're pushing new genres, expanding their markets, and becoming the next Capcom. Capcom has taken a seat back. We haven't seen a new IP from Capcom in a long time, but the few IPs that they do own right now and have, they are just remastering them but sometimes they remaster from the ground up, so it's not just a texture pack in or just higher, prettier HD graphics. Like Capcom has announced that Resident Evil 2 will have a complete remake from the ground up and be released on the PS4 and Xbox One. When Resident Evil 0 was a combination of the first Resident Evil and I think the GameCube Resident Evil. What was the GameCube Resident Evil called? Zero, right? Yeah, the first one that came out. Okay, never mind. So I remember that Capcom released an HD remaster of the first Resident Evil and the one that came out on GameCube. Both of them remastered in HD. Now, those games did have a base for them. They already had a previous, not like next-gen versions of them, but a previous gen that they up-resed and made it with a higher fidelity and sharper graphics and better textures. But now they're remaking entirely Resident Evil 2 from the ground up, so you're going to see all those same moments, except you're going to might have like a Twin Snakes type of remake where you have the original Metal Gear Solid and then the GameCube version of Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, where it's literally just the first game over, but with new graphics, new scenes, new cutscenes, everything to look like modern gen. So Capcom, that's pretty much their job now. They just pretty much just make those type of games. That's all they're making. They're just making collaborations. That's why not too recently in 2016, like around March, I think I want to say, that they released the Devil May Cry HD remastered, which was DMC. That was made by Team Ninja also. And they also released Devil May Cry 4 in HD. That's all they're doing right now. It's just making HD and remasters. But I am happy that they are making a remake of Resident Evil 2. But like I said, I think we all should be paying attention to Koei Tecmo because they've been making a lot of games and exploring different genres and seeing what works and what's not. And they've been slowly growing their business. And I think that's pretty cool that they threw in their hat with Monster Hunters. They threw in their hat with Bloodborne and Dark Souls. They're throwing in their hat in a lot of different places that has been working out for them. And they are no longer becoming, in my opinion, just a Dynasty Warriors company. They have Ninja Gaiden. They have Dead or Alive. They have Tokina now. They have Nioh coming up. You know, like it's just so many amazing games that has shown that has made them money. They have record profits, not like millions and millions of dollars, but they have steady grown profits. So I think we should all be watching for Koei Tecmo, and we should all be excited for what the things that they're pushing. Because honestly, not many Japanese companies have been pushing new IPs and new genres because, you know, it's not cost effective and it's always risky because you can never, sometimes you won't make it back your investment in that. So let's all watch Koei Tecmo together. If you have any questions for me, just let me know at Superior 2099. And I will see you guys later. Geek out!